This is Survival Radio Network, and thank you so much for helping us to reach over 2 million. That's right, 2 million downloads. You're listening to The Paula G Show, where we expand the mindset through worldwide conversations. And you can check out past episodes by visiting paulagvoice.com or The Paula G Show. Also, you can find us on iTunes, Mixcloud, TuneIn Radio, and Stitcher Radio. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at The Paula G Show. Much love to artist V Fur for the opening and closing music for The Paula G Show, and his music can be found on Spotify, iTunes, and Tidal. That's a new one. Tidal. That's a very new one. Well, I hope you all have had a wonderful holiday. At the time of this broadcast, we have entered into a new year, a new decade with all of kinds of dreams and visions and goals and excitement about what is to come down the road, because I always tell y'all it just never ever changes. There's always, I say this every time that I'm on the show, because it's so true how so very precious time is. And I know all of you can relate to that in one way or another, how precious time is. It is the one thing that you cannot, absolutely, you can't get it back. So for you all to think it not robbery, to spend just a little bit of your time with me here on the Paula G Show is so appreciated. I thank you all so very much. I thank my underwriters at Creekside Dental, the Good Acting Studio, my coffee shop in Eastlake, Atlanta, Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, my homegrown folks right here in Survival Radio Network, Clicks Photography with Clark Garrison, Lusu Designs, Positive Power 21, producers of My Journey with Paula G, and LNB Tax Service. Thank you all so very much for your underwriting support and for making this show possible. And speaking of My Journey with Paula G, you can check out my TV show, my award-winning TV show, that's right, on WATC TV, 57 Thursday mornings, 11:30 a.m. You can visit WATC2, that's TOO.TV, and view the show, or you can download the WATC app. You can also view via Hulu, Roku, Apple TV, Truly, Google Play, YouTube, and digital antennas in your area, in the Atlanta area here. Also on Jenico TV. It's a faith-based TV station, Jenico TV. You can catch episodes on DeKalb 25. It's an access channel in DeKalb County, Georgia, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also on CTM in Mississippi, I believe they are also carrying the show. So we thank them all so very much. And I thank you all so very much for your support of not only my radio show right here on Survival Radio Network, but also my television show, My Journey with Paula G, on WATC, produced by Jerry Royce Live, Positive Power 21. So shouts out to him as well. Also, if you are interested in advertising, sponsorship, or underwriting either the radio, the TV, or both, reach out to me. Email me at paula@paulagvoice.com for further details and for the rates as well. We truly have a worldwide audience. The span is enormous. We can discuss that when you email. But if you, again, are interested in advertising, underwriting, sponsoring, reach out, paul@paulagvoice.com, email paul@paulagvoice.com. Also, guest requests, paul@paulagvoice.com. Put in the subject line guest request, and we will review your request. All right, well, I think that is all of the housekeeping. I have a wonderful guest today. I'm really excited to have this young lady on this evening. I'm from the old school, and I love vintage clothing. I love fashion. I love that classic look. And my guest, we're going to be having a conversation about style and fashion and etiquette this evening. I met her a couple weeks ago. I think I met her about a couple weeks ago, and just a great conversation. And I invited her to come on the show, so we're excited to have her. But before she joins us, I want to share a bit of Paula's perspective. I get so many questions about my journey. I get so many questions about what it is that I do, whether it's the fitness, my book. Y'all know I have a book, right? I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute, about my book, my start in radio, television, voiceover, all of those things. And, it truly has been a journey. And I use that word a lot because it has been a journey. Each one of those areas has been a journey. My fitness, you all see me do the videos on social media and working out, and I get a lot of questions about fitness. And that journey began almost 40 something years ago. And from that and from other experiences that I've gained throughout my life, I've really learned the power of the mindset. Y'all hear me talk about this, and I've really learned the power of the mindset. And we truly are, y'all. We really are what it is that we think. A couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to interview Mrs. Ernestine Shepherd, who was known as the world's oldest female bodybuilder. Now, she may be 80 plus in human years, but Miss Ernestine, her mindset is that of a 40-year-old. That's just my opinion. Not that she said that, but that's just my opinion. Her mindset is that it seems like it's that of a 40-year-old. She doesn't appear to have the mindset of an 80-plus-year-old woman. I don't feel like I have the mindset of a woman my age. I'd say maybe 20 years younger. And I mean that. Now, realistically, I know how old I am, but I don't think old. You know what I'm saying? I don't think old. You have to keep your mind, your body, and your spirit as active as you can. You have to keep them active. Miss Ernestine, when she started her fitness regime, she started around the age of 56. And people may have said, there's no way she's going to be a bodybuilder. But I believe that her mindset told her otherwise. And yours can too. I'm telling you all, it starts in the mind. It starts in the head. That conversation that you have. It's a mindset. I can't say that enough. Like I said, when she was 56 or so is when she started her regime. And I'm not saying that we all have to be bodybuilders, but we can speak to whatever it is that we choose to be. I love the quote. Y'all have heard me say this before. I love the quote by George Eliot where he says, "It's never too late to be what you might have been." And I am a witness to that it is never too late to do whatever it is that you desire to do, whatever it is that you feel that you have been purposed to do. I say to you all the time, I keep talking about this conversation in between your ears. It's that conversation in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? For those of you who believe in a power higher than yourselves, is God part of that conversation? Is that power that you believe in that's higher than yourself part of that conversation? You're obedient to that conversation, to what it is that God tells you, or that being that you believe in that's higher in yourself determines the course of your life. And right now, a lot of us are the baby boomers. A lot of us are in that empty nest season. Our children are grown, they're gone, they're living their own lives, and now if you're married, it's just the two of you. If you're single, then it's just yourself. So this could be a season for you, a season of opportunity to pursue some passions, some dreams that you otherwise may not have pursued due to your previous seasons in life. I'd be raising children, or your job, or you were in the military, or whatever it was. This may be your season to step out into that. I always call them my homegrown folks right here on Survival Radio Network have truly afforded me the opportunity to pursue a career in radio. And I think I've been at it. I keep losing track. I'm going to have to sit down and really look. But I want to say 6 years. I'm going to say 6 years until I kind of look at it and make sure that is 6 years. But I believe it's been 6 years that I've been on air, and I love it. Lord knows it's a journey. It's got its ups and downs, and those of you who have been in radio or been on television, you know that you have ups and downs when it comes to that journey. You have trials, you have triumphs, but when this door is open for you to pave the way for your purpose in that season in life, that in itself is a blessing. And this Survival Radio Network has opened so many doors for me, and I'm appreciative to Clark, and I'm appreciative to Survival Radio Network. I don't know if y'all watched the Golden Globes this past week. I think it was Sunday, right, Clark? I think it was Sunday. Last April, Clark and I do the Atlanta Film Festival here in Atlanta. I think we've done it maybe the last 3 years or so, Clark, where we've gone to the Atlanta Film Festival. We've had the opportunity to view films before, they hit the really big screen. And we've had the opportunity to interview a lot of the actors and actresses and producers and directors and creators of these films. And last spring, we had the opportunity to interview Aquafina, who plays the lead role in the film The Farewell. It's a traditional story about a grandmother who has the family believes that she has a terminal illness, but the family doesn't want to tell her that she has a terminal illness. And Aquafina plays her granddaughter, and she struggles with that. She struggles with telling her grandmother the truth versus going on with life as normal and not telling her. But it's just a powerful performance. And we had the opportunity to interview her as well as Lulu Wang, who was the creator of the movie. And it was just an experience to be able to interview those two, talking about the film. And now we see Aquafina has won a Golden Globe Award, and we had the opportunity to interview her. So it's just things like that have occurred over the years. That's just one example, but things like that have occurred over the years that have really just really been a blessing and has really confirmed for me that, I am radio and I'm doing what it is that I enjoy doing. I do what it is that I feel that I'm purposed to do. I end the show each week by saying, or in the past, I've ended the show each week by saying that this radio journey really has been an answer to prayer for me, and it really, truly has. And I want to encourage you that regardless of where you are in your spiritual walk or your faith or the higher power that you believe in, that conversation in between your ears will lead you to intentional results. You have to meditate on it. You've got to be prayerful about it. People always ask how this journey started, and I've got to keep telling them the same thing. It was just the answer to prayer. It's as simple as that. We all have a journey in life, ladies and gentlemen, and we all travel on a different journey. We have different experiences along the way. You've got to focus on what it is, what your journey. You got to focus on your journey. You have to focus on your path to your purpose. Don't be distracted by the perceived successes of others. And we can really get caught up in that. We can really get caught up in that. Looking at social media and looking at all the posts and, everything that everyone is doing. And sometimes it seems like everyone else is doing so much better than we are. Or you know what I'm saying? And that can be discouraging. But you've got to stay focused on your journey and where you are on that journey and where it is that you desire to go. You cannot be distracted by what other people are doing around you. You cannot be distracted by the setbacks. You cannot be distracted by the pitfalls. You cannot be distracted by the naysayers. You've got to keep pushing forward. You've got to ask for the discernment to recognize the open doors and the courage to walk through those open doors. Some of those doors that have been opened for me have truly been a tad bit frightening, but I've walked through the doors anyway, and I do not regret it for 1 minute. What was it that Joyce Meyer said some years ago? When you are doing something and you're afraid to step out in it, you just step out and do it afraid. I'm a witness. I'm telling you, you got to step out. You cannot let fear hinder you. You cannot let fear hinder what it is that you desire to do. If that's the only thing that's standing in between you and your destiny, man, y'all got to knock that thing out. What do they say about fear? Fear is the false evidence appearing real. 99.9% of the time it is. What we perceive as a threat, or what we perceive as something that we should be afraid of, 9 times out of 10, it winds up not being true. It's not something that we should be afraid of. It's something that we can get over. It's something that we can get past. It's something that we can get through. It'll all work out, but you've got to embrace that journey. It'll work out in your favor. Trust that God is working behind the scenes. Thank Him for the journey. You have a purpose. You have gifts. You embrace those and you step out into what it is that you desire to do. This year, I have a 5-pronged journey that I will be embarking on this year. Voiceover, I started that journey a few years ago, and I really need to kind of pick up the pace on that. But doing voiceover, I love doing voiceover. I love recording narrations, commercials. I love audiobooks. I've recorded several audiobooks for the Georgia Radio Reading Service, and I've talked to you all about that before. Internet radio station for the blind and visually impaired. You know, when you look at walking in your gifts, and you look at sharing your passion, I would encourage you to find a way to utilize that gift through serving others. For me, it's the Georgia Radio Reading Service, Internet radio for the blind and visually impaired. Reading periodicals, audiobooks, doing interviews on that station is truly, truly a blessing because that audience is so appreciative. That's how they get their information, through the radio and through the audio. At one point in time, I think it was about 2-3 years, we did the Atlanta Journal Constitution, 2 hours on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m., reading the Atlanta Journal Constitution. And when I've had the opportunity to meet some of the listeners, it has been such a humbling experience because they recognize you by your voice. They recognize you by your voice. So it's been a humbling experience. So voiceover this year, pushing full forward. If you have voiceover needs, please consider Paula G. You can email me, paula@paulagvoice.com, for your commercials, your narrations, your trailers, your intros, your outros, whatever the voiceover needs are. Email me and let's talk. My TV show, My Journey with Paula G on WATC TV 57 here in Atlanta, has been a journey. It's been a blessing to have the opportunity to interview individuals who are juggling their journey of life while walking in the gifts and talents that God has given them, and it has just been awesome to have that experience, to be on a set. And shouts out to Jerry Royce and Positive Power 21, the producers of My Journey with Paula G. I go up to the Owings Mills areas where I record my show. And we have a studio. I have my own set, y'all. You got to see the show. I got my own set, my own sofa and the chairs and the whole bit. But it's just a wonderful opportunity to be able to do that show and then to have that show air here in the Atlanta area on WATC TV 57.2. They have 3 channels, 57.1, which is the channel. If you turn on your television, and on, was it Comcast? I think it's Channel 2. But it's WATC TV 57. If you watch the Atlanta Live, that's the same station. Then they have the Internet television station, which is 57.2, and I believe 57.3 is the Hispanic. My show airs on 57.2. It's Thursday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on WATC. And on occasion, the show does air on 57.1, and I've posted that on social media as well when that occurs. But I appreciate the WATC family, Jaime, Greg, Mike. I appreciate all of them over on WATC for giving me that opportunity. And then, of course, the radio, which is where it all started. And I opened the show with that, which is where it all started, right here, Survival Radio Network. And I'm going to have to sit down and make a list one day of all the people that I have had the opportunity to interview through this experience, being here on radio. You know, when you interview individuals, a lot of them have been in this business for a long time. So a lot of the questions that they are asked are redundant. I really work hard to try to ask the question, not try. I really work hard to ask the questions that have not been asked of that individual, that have not been asked of that person. When I'm interviewing, a lot of the celebrities, I look at them and I realize that they are just people, just like you and I. They have challenges just like you and I have. They have dreams just like you and I have, and they're just people. They're just people with extraordinary gifts. They're people that get a lot of exposure. So therefore, they appear to be bigger than life. And in some instances, in some aspects, they are because of what they do. But at the end of the day, they're men and women just like you and I. So to have the opportunity to sit down and have personable conversations with them is it's really a joy. It's really a joy, and I really enjoy doing that. Looking forward to more opportunities in that area as well. And then there is my book, which took me a good 5 years to publish. The reason being, I let life get in the way. When I was talking to you all earlier about distractions and not allowing distractions to throw you off course, for me, that's a prime example. Had a lot of distractions that threw me off course. I would write and then I would put it down, and then a few months later I would go back and have to look at, okay, now where did I leave off at? And, almost have to read my own manuscript over to see at what point I stop, because flow is important, to see at what point I stop, and then to pick up from that point again to continue to move forward. So it really, really was a process. I wrote and then I rewrote and then I wrote and then I rewrote, added some things, then took some things out. Any of you that have written a book can relate to that. It really, especially when you're writing a bit about, your some of your personal experiences or some of your personal your personal journey. You as you're writing, and I don't know about those of you who've written, but I know for me, as I was writing, it really brought back, some memories from some of these experiences, that I had, and I really had to sit in it for a minute. Some of it I really had to sit in it for a minute and reflect on that particular, that particular experience. And let me see. Do I have time? I got a couple minutes. Let me read a little excerpt for you. All right. Let me see. What can I find here? Oh, let's see. We have. Okay. All right. I'm just going to share this piece with you, and then we'll probably go to commercial. So this is an excerpt from my book where I'm sharing the experience that I had, my first as a new military spouse, a new mom, one of my first experiences as a military spouse. And this was well over 20 years ago, where I had shared a bit of my military journey. And it goes like this. If you have ever flown across the world on an 8 to 12-hour nonstop flight with an infant, you know that can be a challenging experience. You want to make sure your baby's comfortable, but you also want to do your best so as not to disturb the other passengers. We were seated in a two-seat row, and my daughter got a bit restless in such a confined space, and I did my best to keep her comfortable and entertained so as not to exercise her strong, nonverbal method of communication when she's unhappy. You all know how it is with babies. A soldier who was seated near the rear was seated in the middle section where there were 5 seats across. He was able to stretch out and relax and get some well-deserved rest. This was a night flight, but my baby girl did not get the memo. She was trying to crawl around, and she was very fussy. The soldier left his seat and came to where I was sitting with my wide-awake baby, who smiled at him when he approached. He said, "Ma'am, let me switch seats with you so you can have more room for you and your baby." I thanked him for his kindness and thoughtfulness, but I knew he needed his rest and would be more comfortable where he was. He looked at me and smiled, and he said, "Ma'am, I am a soldier. I can sleep anywhere." I smiled and thanked him as he proceeded to move my belongings to his seat and exchanged seats. A kind gesture that I remember to this day. Whether they serve 1 year, 20 years, or 30 years, the men and women of the armed forces deserve our respect and gratitude for their sacrifices. Whether it is a seat on an overseas flight or on the battlefield, members of the U.S. military sacrifice for the well-being of others. Make sure you always let them know just how much you appreciate them. And at the time of this podcast, we are in a very volatile situation worldwide. We are in a very tense situation worldwide, and we need to keep our military personnel lifted, keep them in prayer, regardless of how you feel about the conflict, worldwide conflict situation. These are men and women with families that put themselves in harm's way to protect us all. So shouts out to my military family, and we wish you all well, and we pray for safe return and a peaceful resolution to this current worldwide conflict that we are in the midst of. All right, well, I think that will bring us up to commercial. I want to give a shout out to my engineer this evening, Mr. Clark Garrison. He's riding shotgun with me this evening, so I thank him so very much. And y'all make sure you tune into his show, which is right before this show at 7 p.m. We are going to go to break. We're going to listen to a little music, and then when we come back on the flip side, we will be speaking with my guest this evening, who I'm excited to have. You might want to get paper and pencil, because I think she's going to drop some information that would be very helpful to you. All right. This is the Paula G. Show on Survival Radio Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I am voice talent Paula G, and I would love to be a resource for you. Whether it's an intro, an outro, a commercial, PSA, tag, or more, consider Paula G the next time you have an audition or voiceover need. Email paula@paulagvoice.com. And remember, it's the voice that counts.
Looking for a cafe with a home-like appeal where all who enter feel like they are part of something? Visit My Coffee Shop, located in Eastlake, Atlanta, Georgia. MCS has a full breakfast and lunch menu, offering both hot and cold options, and is home of the amazing basil lemonade. But don't forget their assortment of freshly brewed coffees. Come on by at 2462 Memorial Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30317. We're pretty sure My Coffee Shop at Eastlake will become your coffee shop, too.
Do you have tax issues, owe back taxes, or need tax relief? Contact L&B Tax Service today. L&B offers you over 15 years of expertise and first-class tax service for individuals, professionals and business owners. With nationwide service, you can easily find a location near you. Contact one of our tax professionals through our website, lbtaxservice.com. That's www.lbtaxservice.com. L&B Tax Service Incorporated. Tax professionals that you can trust.
SRN Survival Radio Network.
Hi, this is Sharon Cooper, the Transformer. I am a wardrobe specialist and professional bra fitter of Opulent Elegance, and I am listening to the Paula G. Show on Survival Radio Network.
And that was UV Hayes, Nobody But You. And we thank UV for lending her music to the Paula G Show, and her music can be found on iTunes and all of the other social platforms. And if you recall, if you've been listening to the show for a while, you recall UV and her husband were guests on the show last year. Her husband is the CEO of the National Black Radio Hall of Fame in St. Louis, and just a wonderful place. If you can visit the website, it's the nbrhof.org. National Black Radio Hall of Fame. It's just a wealth of information when it comes to black radio. So we thank them so very much. All right. Once again, if you are interested in advertising or underwriting, you can email Paul at paulagvoice.com, put branding opportunities in the subject line, or if you're interested in being a guest, put guest opportunities in the subject line, emailing Paul at paulagvoice.com. All right. Well, my guest is here today. She's an expert wardrobe specialist. She transforms the appearance, wardrobe, and closets of women. She is passionate about transforming the appearance of women, and she's the owner of Opulent Elegance that exudes fashion and style. So y'all know that is right up my alley. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Paula G Show, Sharon D. Cooper, a.k.a. The Transformer.
Hi, Paula. How are you?
I am wonderful. I woke up this morning, so I am just a happy woman.
I heard that.
Yes. Well, I am so excited to have you on the show. You have your own business, Opulent Elegance. You're known as the Transformer, transforming women's wardrobes and their style and so forth. And I have a question for you as to how all of this got started.
Well, earlier you were talking about prayers answered and things happening in your life that you don't even expect. And well over 25 years ago, someone walked in and shared with me about an opportunity to sell an upscale line of women's fashions, and I didn't even know that existed. I took a look at the business. I was so excited and never even knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But I was like a kid in a candy store, Paula, and I got so excited. And from there, the journey started. And I started selling the clothes, and then I thought, well, I can go in and show people how to wear their clothes and get mileage out of their wardrobe and get rid of all of that stuff in their closet.
Wow. So what, and I know you can understand this statement, what do you say when you walk in a room and you haven't opened your mouth? What do you say?
Well, I feel I'm very confident that I say I am confident. I am a woman. I am classy. I am me.
I am a woman. I am confident. I am classy. I am me. And it's so interesting that you say that, because I always pose the question to my audience: what is your I am? What is your I am? And I always say that words have power, and when you speak those words over yourself, they really have power. So when you walk into the room, I am classy. I am elegant. What else are you sharing?
I am confident. I'm me.
Yeah.
You have to be confident in who you are. And unfortunately, it's our outer appearance that people see first.
Yes.
And they make decisions about you and know nothing about you.
Right. Because they're looking on the outside and not seeing what's on the inside. And that statement alone is, you can, that can be multiple conversations, because you can go so many different ways with that. But for the purpose of our conversation and what we're discussing in regard to what's underneath, why is starting with a good foundation so important?
It's like building a house, Paula. You know that you have to have a solid foundation in order for that house to stand. And in addition to everything else I do, I also am a professional bra fitter. So I help women to build a good foundation in the undergarments that they wear. Because it doesn't matter how expensive or inexpensive something is that you're wearing. If your undergarments aren't correct, your whole look is incorrect.
That is so important. That is so important. I think in today's society, we've gotten so far away from that.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
We've gotten so far away from it.
Absolutely. I think in society now, I call it a generational shift of how things are changing. And we know that the dress code is changing in the workforce. You can come to work and be comfortable. You can come to work and be casual. But when it comes to your undergarments, that's what they are, undergarments.
Undergarments.
And not to be shown on your outer.
Exactly. I can remember growing up, and if your slip is hanging or something, your grandmother or somebody, would tell you that your slip is hanging. And I remember hearing, your undergarments, or if a strap was showing, your undergarments are just that, undergarments. Keyword under.
Exactly.
In the phrase undergarments. So, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is that I feel it's very important that when you get dressed in the morning, that you make sure you look in the mirror before you go out the door. But it's very important that you are wearing foundation that accentuate and hold together a lot of what's going on with our bodies.
Yeah.
So it's just really important that if you have large hips, they're not shaking all over the place. And we don't have an excuse because there's a garment out there for everything.
A garment for everything. Wow. We just have to seek it, find it.
Exactly. And when you put it on and take a look, then you look at yourself and you think, wow. And that's what I do in bra fittings. Oh, my gosh. I could tell some stories. But when you are fitted in the correct size bra, and it gives you comfort, a good fit, and for free you get the gift of lift.
That is a gift.
It's a gift. And there's a lot of us that need the gift.
Yes, Lord. Years and babies. I know the men are like, this is like TMI. I'm sorry, gentlemen. But years and babies. Yes.
But as quiet as it's kept, Paula, men want their women to look good, too.
Yes, this is true. I agree with you on that. And ladies, you've got to hear that as well. When you are out with your man, your part of your job, I believe, is to look good for him. You want to look good because men like to show off their women. So you want him to be proud.
But Paula, even if you're single,
yes,
when you're single, you never know who you're going to run into.
That is true too.
That saying about first impressions are important because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
That is so true. That is so very true. So the undergarments are so important. Like you said at the top of the show, when you walk into the room, what are you saying when you walk into the room? And your undergarments are important in that statement of what you say when you walk into the room.
Because it's going to reflect how that outer garment is fitting you. And that's what people see before they talk to you.
Right, before you even open your mouth. Yes,
before you
because
open your mouth.
unfortunately, the saying you shouldn't or can't judge a book by its cover, but like you said, first impressions, really, really matter. So we're talking about what statement we're making when we walk into the room and how important our undergarments are and the fit and what that says about us. And you mentioned that you are a professional bra fitter. Can you be? Is there such a thing as being classy and comfortable? Can you be classy and comfortable?
Oh, absolutely. Because our dress codes have changed,
Mm-hmm.
because we're in a generational shift,
Yes.
people tend to now want to be more comfortable. And in the workforce, they've allowed it. It used to be dress down Friday. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's dress down every day.
Every day. Yes.
So even when you go to work or just go out and you
Mm-hmm.
want to be comfortable, you can still be classy just by having whatever you're wearing in a pulled together look. So if you are going into the office and jeans are an acceptable garment to wear to work.
Yeah.
Now, I'm like you, I'm old school, so I'm always a notch above.
Yes.
However, if you're going to wear your jeans, wear a nice blouse or a shirt if
Mm-hmm.
you're a man.
Mm-hmm.
But throw a jacket on top of that. Jackets give you power.
Mm.
And it doesn't have to really be a fancy jacket,
Yes.
but just look at yourself in the mirror when you have on your top and your bottom, and then when
Mm-hmm.
you throw the jacket on top of it.
Mm.
Bam.
Yes.
It
Yeah, you
changes the
said.
whole look.
You said. Now you mentioned if you have jeans, a nice shirt. If you're a man, are there any aspects of your business that cater to the men as well? Because I got questions. I got some. I got some feedback when I posted earlier with my workout. I got some feedback. I'm trying to get out of trouble.
Unfortunately, my niche is women.
It's for the women.
However,
okay.
if there are men out there that would like that service, I do have colleagues that would be able to accommodate.
Well, we're going to have one of your colleagues on, or more of your colleagues on, to have this same conversation for the men, because they got me this afternoon on that one. They got me on that one. So we're being conscious of our undergarments. We're starting with a good foundation. We are making a statement when we walk into the room, and we're being classy but comfortable. Maybe a pair of jeans, a nice blouse or shirt if you're a man, putting a jacket over it as well. I know a lot of times we hear someone stands in their front of their closet, got a closet full of clothes, and they say, "I don't have anything to wear." And I believe that you do a marvelous job of helping women to transform their existing wardrobe. Can you speak to that?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the services that I provide that I am most passionate about. I love going into the closet and really helping my clients to make sense of all of that stuff that they have in their closet. Our closets are very personal to us. And so, therefore, we're emotional about the things that are in our closet.
Yes.
And so we have all of these things. Some of them are too big, too small, out of date. Mother-in-law a
Yes.
sister, somebody gave it to you, so you don't want to release it.
Right.
But it's still, all these things are filling up your closet.
Mhm.
So I like to go in with the client and we take a look at all of those things and we make decisions about them. I have them try them on. Did you buy that because it was something that was flattering on you, or did you buy it because it was on sale? Did you buy it and after you got it home, it's still hanging in your closet
Right.
with the tag on it? Did you
Right.
buy it because you saw someone else wearing it and you thought, I can wear it too?
Ooh, those are good questions.
So
Yes.
when we go into the closet, we make piles and we decide what's going to stay and what's going to go. But then also, once we make those piles and what we have left, some people, when they go shopping, they buy an outfit, and therefore that's the only way that they wear it. However, if you have a jacket and a pant, a jacket and a skirt, you can break those pieces up, and you can have many outfits. So that's what I do with the client. I go in and I call it twirling in their closet. And I just twirl around and I show them all of the possibilities.
Wow.
And when they get done, they're like, I never would have thought to do that. I never would have put that together. And it's all about the accessories that you have in your wardrobe also, because that's what can change it.
And that's why she's called, ladies and gentlemen, the Transformer. We're having a conversation with Sharon D. Cooper. She's the owner of Opulent Elegance, and we've been talking this evening about the etiquette of fashion, if you will, in your wardrobe, and how you can transform your wardrobe, and how foundation matters. What is underneath matters. Your undergarments matter. You can still be classy but comfortable with a nice pair of jeans, or having a blouse on, a shirt on, putting a jacket over that as well, and then looking at your closet and asking yourself these questions. Why did I buy this? What was the purpose of purchasing this? And being able to mix and match and add accessories as well. You mentioned a couple of times, Sharon, about the generational shift. Can you speak a little bit more to that, and what maybe specifically you're seeing that you are passionate about or concerned about?
Well, I'm passionate about it and concerned at the same time, Paula. So, I'm from old school, and I'm old school. And so when I went to work, you had to have your wardrobe pulled together.
Yes.
You could just not walk in looking any kind of way. And my career with the airline, I wasn't a flight attendant. I was actually, the last 15 years with the airline, I worked in their upscale club that they had, where the flyers go in. And I didn't have to wear a uniform. I could actually wear my street clothes. So it was very important to me on how I looked when I greeted the customers.
Yes.
So now with the shift in the changing of the generation, the Gen X, the millennials, things are different. And I just feel that even though that has changed, how you look should never change.
Wow.
Pulling yourself together when you leave out is very important. And I spoke about jeans, but just think if you replace that jean just with a nice pair of pants, you'll be a notch above.
Yeah.
It changes your whole look. And people pay attention.
They
I
do.
always say you never want to look like everyone else.
Ooh, I like that. You never want to look like everyone else. And it may
You
just
want to
be, like you
be
said,
different.
yeah, just a subtle change. Just a,
Absolutely. And people pay attention.
mm-hmm.
People
How
watch you all the time.
how can the audience reach out to you, and how can they reach out and support your services?
Well, if they're interested in my services, I'm on Facebook. My business is Opulent Elegance, and that's how you can find me on Facebook. On Instagram, it's at the Transformer OE. So just to remember it, the Transformer Opulent Elegance, but it's just at the Transformer OE. Currently, my website is being revamped, but I hope by the second quarter to have it back up, or they can give me a call at 678-656-2760.
Wow. Well, I have enjoyed this conversation. You've helped me, and I know you've helped a lot of my listeners who are baby boomers as well. I'd love to have you back maybe later in the year to speak a bit more about just the power of dress. That's what I'm calling is the power of dress, your wardrobe, the etiquette, just the fashion, the style, all of that. I really appreciate you sharing with the audience. I always tell the audience on some episodes, I tell my audience members, you all need to get paper and pencil, take some notes because, the information that you're receiving is just valuable information. So thank you so very much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as I have, and we look forward to seeing where your journey takes you in this new year. So thank you so much for
Well,
joining
thanks
us.
for that. Thank you for the opportunity, Paula. I really enjoyed meeting you.
Likewise.
So I look forward
Likewise.
to doing more. Thank
Yes,
you.
and we will definitely stay connected. Ladies and gentlemen, Sharon D. Cooper, known as the Transformer. She's the owner of Opulent Elegance. Make sure you check her out on Facebook at Opulent. That's Opulent Elegance. She's on Instagram at the Transformer OE. So that's the Transformer OE on Instagram. Opulent Elegance. I love what she said about the being classy and being comfortable and just yeah, undergarments matter, y'all. Just pay attention. Undergarments matter. Look in the mirror before you leave the house. Undergarments matter. That's kind of one of my pet peeves. Gentlemen, I got you. We will have episodes on the same subject matter, talking about style when it comes to our men. There's nothing better than a well-dressed man from head to toe. That he's got it together from whether it's a fedora, the suit, three-piece vest, the hanky, the whole the tie, the shirt. Okay, I won't get sidetracked. Anyway, gentlemen, I got your back. Thank you all so much. The time always goes so quickly. Thank you, Clark. Thank you all so much for joining us here for another episode and another season of the Paula G Show right here on Survival Radio Network. We are indeed back live on Wednesday evenings, 8:30 p.m. My guest next week is a fitness expert. This month we're talking about taking care of ourselves, whether it's our wardrobe or fashion, whether it's our health and fitness, talking about taking care of ourselves in this new year, because you got to start with a foundation of taking care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, your health, the whole holistic view. So we'll be talking fitness next week. Don't forget My Journey with Paula G, Thursdays, 11:30 a.m. on WATC TV 57. For those of you outside of the Atlanta area, you can log on to WATC2TOO.TV to see the show. Also, if you have Hulu, Roku, Apple TV, Truly, Google Play, You can also watch the show as well as on DeKalb 25 at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like what you see and you hear on Paula G and you wish to support this platform, you may do so. You can go on my website, click the donate button, paulagvoice.com, and you will help us to continue to provide quality programming. So we thank you so much in advance. Thank you for joining us for another episode where we expand the mindset and maybe your wardrobe through worldwide conversations. Don't forget to check out The Rules, RULZ, I believe it's 7:30 p.m. on Thursday evening, which is tomorrow. V. Ferg, thank you so much for the theme music for The Paula G Show. Thank you all for joining us. Clark, thank you. I appreciate you. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, embrace the journey.